Live it, breathe it, love it. All sports, double coverage.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man, Sauce. How you doing, mate?
I'm well, mate. I'm well. I'm all right. I'm all right. It could have been worse. I could say it could have been worse, but
Easter.
I'm saying I'll take the 0-0 draw in the title race with Arsenal and Manchester City, which we'll talk a little bit more about later in the show. So the mood's okay. The mood's okay.
It's okay. You had a good Easter. Happy Easter to
good.
everyone as well that's tuning in. So I hope you
On
had
a
a good
Pasqua, everyone. Yeah, Easter was good. Obviously, put on about 3.5 kilos. Just how much I ate.
Yep.
And because we hosted plenty of leftovers, so got that for the next 5 days.
Tell you what, sometimes when you're playing sport, I'm lucky my coach doesn't see what I eat over the weekend, because I tell you what, he wouldn't be too happy. He'd made me do hill climbs if he saw what I was eating over to try and burn it off. But anyway, before we got on here, literally as you started the thing, I'm like, oh, I'll go on Instagram, obviously share that we're live, and as I do every week. And mate, the first story that came up. Have you seen this about the German Football Association putting their kits on hold for the Euros? Have you seen what's happened there? Apparently the way that I've got it here, the picture of it. Anyway, this is the 4. All right. Now, apparently people are saying it looks like a swastika. Like Nazi Germany. So they've pulled all the 4s and they're going to have to change the font. It's a bit of a reach.
I thought it's crossed over, don't they? Aren't they crossed over?
Yeah. It's all in. Yeah, and anyway.
So how does it look like that?
I don't know. Anyway, that's a bit of a reach, in my opinion. I don't see it. I personally don't see it.
I'm with you there. I don't see it.
Anyway, there's someone that's definitely seen it. Whether they're on a mushroom trip or not, I have no idea, but they see it in there. So good luck to them. Anyway, Jules, welcome. We're nothing much. We're all good, mate. We're all good. Khan the Mighty Don says global. Everyone else that's tuned in, I've got to obviously turn on Instagram. I've got to get on there, mate. See who's joined in. Said hello. But Saucy, we're going to start off with the NBA. That's where we're going, because you want to have a chat. There's 8 games left, 7 for some teams. Oklahoma now on top in the West. We'll start with the West. All right. Oklahoma on top, Denver in second, Minnesota in third, Clippers in fourth, Dallas in fifth. New Orleans have flown under the radar. We haven't really spoken about Zion for a while, but he has been playing very, very good basketball.
Yes.
All right. So we haven't said anything. We just let him do his thing. He's let him cook. And then obviously in the play-in, the best thing since sliced bread, we've got Phoenix, Sacramento, Los Angeles Lakers, and the Golden State Warriors. 4 interesting teams in the play.
Spicy playing if it stays that way.
Yeah, definitely. So, is there any particular teams you want to talk about, Saucy?
Hang on. Can we just are we? How many games ahead of OKC? They're 1 game ahead.
1 game ahead of Denver.
Yeah. Are we giving SGA the MVP, or what's the consensus?
Everyone keeps saying it's got to go to Luka the Don, isn't it? That's what they keep saying. Oh, I don't know. Isn't it going to Ant-Man? There's you can get...
SGA. Should go to SGA.
You can argue you can go to 4 guys. SGA, Anthony Edwards, Luka the Don, and Nikola Jokic. You just throw him in there for the sake of throwing him in there. But then, mate, we're only looking at it from one point of view, mate. You go over and Boston Celtics have the best record in the league.
So surely
Jason Tatum gets it. I don't even know what his numbers are, to be honest, this year. You know me, I don't really pay attention to Boston.
I'm interested to see how that plays out. But, Doma, look, I'll be honest with you. I thought some of those teams there the way they started at the beginning of the season, they were going to drop off. So they proved me wrong.
You proved me wrong. I thought Minnesota would crumble and burn.
Yeah, I thought they'd drop off, but they're there and they're going to finish in the top 3. It looks as though.
New Orleans has surprised me.
I think they've been going pretty well. You know, they've been building. They had injuries at the beginning of the season and parts there, which they worked through. They've got nearly a full squad back now. Zion's gone off a few times in the last few games.
The one thing I don't want, though, in that West, I don't want Clippers in the 4th and Dallas in the 5th. I don't want them playing each other in the first round.
Yeah, that's
I prefer Clippers. I prefer Clippers to play New Orleans, or Phoenix moves up into that 5th spot so they can get swept. Like, it'll be just great to watch. Create a super team. They can't even do anything, but that's what I'd like. I don't want them to play each other. I'd like to see them get further on, but they will probably have to match up eventually. So I don't know. Minnesota's look good. Denver's looking really good. Really, really good. Clippers are looking really good.
Who's your pick?
It's Denver or the Clippers. It's Denver or the Clippers. I'm going to still stick with the Clippers.
They've had a few bumps in the road, the Clippers, over the last few games, but you know, we've seen what they can do. Now. They went on that crazy run where they won. I think it was 18 of 20 games or something like that.
They went crazy.
Might be wrong on that.
Clippers, man, they've won 3 of their last 5. It is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Denver's also won 3 of their last 5.
I just can't see how when Denver's playing their best basketball and the way they move the ball on offense, and then they've got the guys with size to deal on defense.
That's a valid point. I just think it's one of them two. So that's
I like Denver. I do like Denver. There's a few teams that I just can't see doing anything. You know, obviously Minnesota. I don't see Phoenix. You know, if they're in there doing anything. Funny enough, I see the Warriors if they're able to get through, and it doesn't matter where they are.
You don't want to play them.
You don't want to play them. You really don't. I feel like that's probably a team that's sitting there in the play-in that, you know.
Can the Lakers make it, mate? That's the question.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to have to go through the play-in regardless. And then you look at those teams, I'm pretty sure if we come up against the Kings, Doma, we ain't making it because they are like, they dominate us. They have our number. Sabonis absolutely takes a dump on the Lakers every time he plays them, right? So if we get the Kings and have to play them in the play-in, we're absolutely cooked. So I better hope
Sacramento.
I better hope that that's not the case because the rest we're stuffed. But yeah, look, I'm not going to talk up the Lakers' chances. You know, I got a bit excited a few weeks ago when we were looking good for parts. It was good to see LeBron put up 40 points on 16 shots or whatever it was.
Mate, did you hear what he said?
His 10 from 3.
Coming towards the end, he said. Oh, come on, what? You can't say this now because you had the realization that your son's a bum. He's not good. Oh, come on, man. Come on, LeBron. Come on, man. You gotta just stick it out. Come on, you can trade the world to get him, and then you can trade the rest to put a good team around him. So don't stress. Maddie says Dallas is cooking. He says happy Easter, plenty of booze and food and family catch-ups. Very nice. I saw you took a photo with put a photo up with your grandson, Maddie. Very cute. He says surely the Don wins MVP. Jono says SGA ain't winning the MVP. OKC were fine when SGA was injured. Okay. Vinny says hello boys. Hope you're well. Hope you're well, Vinny. Matt says who gets through. It's whoever gets through without injuries. And Jules says Malik Monk is our dad. Oh, I shouldn't have got rid of Malik Monk. Should have got rid of Malik Monk. He's just dominating.
I know.
Silly. Anyway, let's get to the East because we've talked about the West, and they're the two teams. I think we're both set on the Clippers and the Nuggets. They're the two teams I think we're looking at. In the East, we've got Boston on top by 12 games, so they've sewed it up. The top seed. We've got the Bucks in second, Cleveland in third, New York in fourth, Orlando stuck true in fifth. So they're holding on. Indiana in sixth. My boys are in the play-in. Miami, Philly in eighth. Chicago in ninth, Atlanta in 10th.
Okay.
We're 2 games behind Indiana, the Heat. We've stunk it up this season. But we did the same thing last year. We made the finals. So
You're going to make the play-in?
Yeah, we're in the play-in.
You're in the play-in.
Yeah, we did this last year. Remember, we lost deliberately in the first round of the play-in, so then we didn't have to play Boston. And then we won the second game. And then we made it all the way to the finals. We beat Boston in the
strategy
in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like,
masterstroke.
Yeah, it's just typical Eric Spoelstra at his best. And then Jimmy Buckets turns into playoff buckets. And the rest is history. Don't worry about it. Card show in Adelaide, says Brett this Saturday. Yeah, we'll talk about that in Hobby Talk. Haven't watched much lately, but Bronson must be having a good year. He is having a good year. He's having a really good year. Hello, Magda. How are you? Welcome to the show. Anyway, your thoughts, Boston, to come out of the East?
Yeah, I think Boston. Just they have to, and they've improved that side on last season, I feel. So
it's so set up for us, Source. It's so set up. It's so set up for the bus to just come rolling through Milwaukee after the Eastern Conference Finals and just a few bumps in the road in the bus when it just runs over there, either Lillard or Giannis, because you know who the bus driver is, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you know who he is. He's one of the most famous bus drivers of all time in Doc Rivers. So I'm just saying it's set up perfectly. He's going to look out. He's going to look out the window and be like, is it Giannis or Lillard under there? So, well, he might throw Middleton. He always picked on Tobias Harris when he was in Philly. He used him as a scapegoat, so he couldn't get the 2 top guys. So, who knows? I think it's Boston and Milwaukee, in my opinion. But I would love to see New York make it pretty far. Personally,
yeah. Look,
the atmosphere would be mental if they made it.
Outside of that, the only other team I can see them possibly making a splash is Cleveland. You know, have everyone firing. Donovan Mitchell's done it before. I think he's been to a Western Conference Finals where he lost with Utah, I believe, or he's been to this past the first round at least. So he's knows what it takes to get it done. He's a pretty big time player in that sense. But they've also got other guys that are building, and when they have their whole team, their defense can be really good with Mobley, Jared Allen protecting the ring. So Cleveland's the only other team, but I think it's Boston's to lose. The ideal matchup is I'd like to obviously see Boston versus Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals. It would be the two best teams. So, but I really think it's only those 3 teams that can potentially come out of there. But I'm thinking Boston.
I'm going Boston with you, to be honest. But like I said, I'm happy to see Orlando in there. Indiana's come a fair way this year. Obviously, Halliburton's been very good. But I would like to see the Knicks push it a bit towards the end. How good at Eastern Conference Finals?
Is Julius Randle coming back? Do you know?
I'm not sure. But Eastern Conference Finals, Source, just imagine playing 3 games at the Garden. Bro, it'd just be mental. It'd be mental. You know what it's like. It's like they're spilling onto the court every bucket that they make. The atmosphere is like nothing else. So I'd love to see it. So there's only 8 games left there. We'll wait and see what happens. I don't think it's happening either, but you can always dream. Mate, I thought it wasn't happening with the Heat last year, mate, and they made the finals.
Fair point.
I said we get swept and we lost 4-1, didn't we? So yeah, when you shouldn't be there, that's what happens. All right, let's get to the EPL, Source, because it was a massive, massive weekend. We had Newcastle defeating West Ham 4-3, Tottenham beating Luton 2-1, Sheffield United playing out a 3-3 draw, Nottingham Crystal Palace 1-1, Chelsea and Burnley draw 2-2. Bournemouth defeat Everton 2-1. Aston Villa defeat Wolves 2-0. Liverpool get the win over Brighton after Danny Welbeck scored in the 3rd minute. I was jumping out of my seat when he scored. I was losing it for you because I want Arsenal to win. If I haven't made that clear on the show, I want them to win. I don't want the other two teams winning it, but it's looking pretty sketchy at the moment for Arsenal. We'll see what happens. And before we get to that game, because also probably have a few comments in there, we'll get to Brentford Man United, which was a 1-1 draw. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you got up at 7 a.m. on Easter Sunday, I'll tell you what, lucky Cristiano Ronaldo kicked the hat-trick and gave me a good Easter present. Because what I did was sit there for 90 minutes and
he's got pummeled.
Essentially watched a game of FIFA where the opposition player had 30 shots, hit the bar 3 times, and scored 1 goal, to Man United taking a handful of shots and scoring 1 goal. And funnily enough, Sauce, when we went up in the 96th minute, I jumped out of my seat. I know what you're bringing up. It's the greatest thing ever. How many United... Oh, my God. Look at this.
You did well the first 15 minutes, and then after that, you got pummeled for the rest of the half.
Look at this. Look at the second half.
Second half, you did well for about 10 minutes to start the second half. No, not even 5 minutes. Then you got pummeled for the rest of the half until you kicked the goal.
Look how small the momentum shift is. And then they scored.
But the worst part is, Domo, you scored in the 96th minute, and then you allowed them to score in the 99th minute.
Yes. You know,
look at that momentum chart. Hang on.
I'll sum it up perfectly. My cousin
first half, they had 14 shots to 3, and second half, they had 17 shots to 8.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? It sums it up perfectly. I saw my cousin Easter Sunday for dinner, and he turns around and he goes, it was so funny. I pissed myself. He goes, "Oh, you got dominated by Brentford this morning." I said, "Yeah, I know." And he goes, "Dom, nobody gets dominated by Brentford." I just pissed myself laughing. I said, "I know." I said, "You're talking to a United supporter. I watch the games. We are poo. I can't even believe we are where we are in the standings on the table. I actually can't believe it. Because how many games has Source brought up throughout this season, the momentum chart, where we've been absolutely pummeled? I'm surprised we've even got white colour on there for United. I'm actually surprised. The Man City one's still the best, where it was just like that little line on the momentum chart, and the whole thing was just blue. It was just Man City, the whole thing, and there's just a little speck where we played for 30 seconds. We got to pass. So, but we're shit. I just wanted to bring it up. Right on to Brentford getting the result, but unlucky for them because they probably should have kicked 5 or 6. So, and then of course, the biggest game of the week was Man City versus Arsenal, and they played out a 0-0 draw. And I'm assuming Saucy's got some comments to make about this one.
Yeah, look, obviously went there with a plan to defend, make it hard for Man City, catch them on the counter-attack. A few times we caught them with nice long balls over the top. Played well. I'm not going to, dispute the fact we defended well, we played well. The keeper didn't really get worked that much. Haaland got absolutely dominated by our centre backs. Barely had a sniff. I felt like there was one incident where they showed a replay, but they didn't really show full another angle of the replay. But maybe Gabriel got away with a pull of the jersey at one point in the box, and they didn't show a replay. So I'm surprised they didn't go have a look at it at VAR. But nonetheless, nothing got called, so we call it play on. But in the second half, we actually had an opportunity. The ball got played through, Trossard onside, Martinelli streaming down the other wing. He just had to play it across. First time, or maybe one touch, play it across. Martinelli would have been one-on-one with the keeper, and that would have been our hopes of the championship, looking much, much better. It's not often you see Trossard make the wrong decision and not play that pass. Should he play that pass? I'm not saying Martinelli finishes it, but you're one-on-one with the keeper. Always a good chance to, finish it off. Would have been probably the best chance of the game for any team should that pass got played across. But nonetheless, both teams didn't really trouble keepers a lot, and it was probably fair enough, the 0-0 draw. But, yeah, look, what can I say? I'm happy with the result. It's I think we've accumulated 12 points out of from against the other top 5 teams in the league, which is pretty good. We've accumulated 12 points out of between playing games against City and Liverpool or something like that. City, Liverpool, and someone else. So some 3 good teams, which is better than last season. We just got to keep winning from here on.
The biggest concern, though, and no, Matty, I wasn't looking for that. Sorry, mate. I dropped something, so I was just trying to find it on the ground when I knocked it off. The biggest concern was you got to this point last year and you lost so many easy games. And I'm talking about easy games like you played Luton this week. You would lose this game or draw this game last year. And these are the ones that you can't. You need to go into these like you had that purple patch against like the Burnleys and stuff and win these games 5-0. You got to bury them. Just keep getting
Luton at home. We should win with them, but then we got to play Brighton away. We got to play Aston Villa at home. That's in between a Champions League fixture against Bayern Munich as well. So don't throw that in there. Then we got to play Wolves away and then Chelsea at home on the last match day. So, that's for Arsenal. City has to play. They got Aston Villa at home, Crystal Palace away. Then they got to play Real Madrid in the Champions League. Then they got Luton at home, another Real Madrid fixture, Tottenham away, and Chelsea in the FA Cup. So don't worry about that. That's in a later date. But then they got Tottenham away on the last day. And then I'm trying to just find Liverpool's so I can give you the rundown.
They got the rub of the green at the moment.
Liverpool's got Sheffield at home. They got Man United away. And then they got to play Atalanta in a Europa League fixture. And then they got Crystal Palace at home.
Yeah, it's a win.
Then they got the other Europa League fixture, and then they got Fulham away and Everton away, which are
mate, talk about the rub of the green.
Fulham's probably the team out of those two that could potentially take points, and then maybe Man United could potentially do us a favour and get a draw.
Liverpool's looking the best at the moment out of the 3 teams with their fixtures.
But anything can happen, and
Højlund might turn into Haaland. And we might win.
I'll bring this up so everyone can get the final picture of.
But I doubt it.
How it looks.
Unreal.
Liverpool on top, 67 points. Arsenal second, 65 points. Manchester City third, 64 points. All played 29 games. Arsenal has the best goal difference with 46. Liverpool 40 and Man City 35. Interesting, Donna. Interesting. A slip up from any team, not being
pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty much over for some teams in there. Like, well, not over, but if like Man City loses a game, for example, in there, that really puts them behind massively. You can't be 2 games behind and rely on teams. You need to win. You need to win all your games and just hope that someone slips up. That's pretty much it. You can't go into a fixture hoping like, I hope Tottenham gets the win for us.
Yeah, that's true.
You just got to win all your games, and whatever happens, happens. That's pretty much it. That's the best way to do it. You got to take every game at a time. So that's just advice to Arsenal because they absolutely bottled it last year. So games this week: Newcastle, Everton, Nottingham, Fulham, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Burnley, Wolves, West Ham, Tottenham, Arsenal, Luton, Brentford, Brighton, Man City, Aston Villa, Liverpool, Sheffield, and Chelsea versus Man United. That game is at Stamford Bridge. So, Manuel's not too far behind Sauce. They're only 7 points behind if he wants to win this bet. They're not entirely out of it yet. So, the bet. So, the season's cooked. Villa are tough, says Magda. Salah is the Egyptian GOAT. James says we've got the Egyptian king. Anything could happen this season. EPO is the most unpredictable league. Man City record against the top 6 is trash this year, says Ben. I like it. Magda says that's correct, Benny. I like it. That's good. Man, if they're not winning, I'll be happy. I know a lot of people like it'd be nice if Klopp wins it, but if you're a Man United supporter, you don't want Liverpool winning. Simple as that. Done and dusted. EPL. All right, Sauce. Let's get to the APL. The AFL. APL. And we had a good week in the super. We had a good week in the Supercoach, Sauce.
What, the community team?
The community team actually did something this week. All right, we had a 14,000 rank change, which was good.
Oh,
so we finished in the top 27% this week.
Yeah, nice.
All right, better than the poo that we put up the first 2 weeks. But I'll share my screen. I'll show you what I got. Yeah.
Yep. Bring it up.
Trades, I have no idea what we're doing. We can work that out closer to gather round because that is this week. Where was I now? Here we go. We scored 1838. This is our team. We have Bontempelli as captain. Dacos as the vice. Obviously, you can see here, Gorn scored 177. It would have been nice if we had him as captain, but we didn't. Dawson, who we went with, he stunk it up, and he's been shit house. He's averaging 82, so not great. Anderson back in this week after the bye. Butters, well, below average for sure. He's averaging 130. Sarong's just putting up numbers. Bontempelli did nothing and still scored 100. If you don't know the loophole with Bontempelli, it's just you get him in the team because champion data love him. So even when he's not near the ball, he's always going up points. All right? I'm just letting you know. I've done severe observation of Bontempelli Sauce when it comes to Supercoach. And his score just slowly gets scaled up without him even being near the ball. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works. All right? Our back line, Sheasel's just been that good. It's ridiculous. Houston, very good. Dacos bounced back this week. Salem has been pretty average for us. I think Hoare or Howes, one of these two guys got injured for Melbourne. They're out for 4 weeks. So we can't catch a break with our defenders and the rookies. Because as you can see, Toby Pink stinks. Zach Reed's injured. And either Howes or Hoare is injured at the moment. The mid's doing all right. The forwards, Luke Jackson, we got him in last week for Hogan. Scored 98. James Jordan, 65. It's his lowest score for the year. Fife putting in just consistent numbers going up in value so we can sell him eventually. Dersma, he was on the field because of the bye. Dempsey, Saucy's boy, 86.
He's a moneymaker, mate.
That's very good for rookies. Harley Reid goes up in value again.
Kicked 3 goals on the weekend.
We got Supercoach Plus,
Yesterday.
I think, up until a certain point. Oh, well, now it's ended. It's the first 3 rounds. It's gone. So I don't know what the trades that you want to make. We've only got 32K in the bank. If there's any good rookies that we want to downgrade someone to, make some money, and then try and flip someone off. We've got to work it out.
Have they all changed prices yet?
Yeah. So Matty Roberts has gone up. McKirch has gone up. Sanders. The ones with the green arrows. I don't know if you can see the green arrows, actually. See these little green arrows? Yeah, that's price rise. Price rise. Grundy down. Up. So they're all gone up in the forward line. Grundy's gone down. Doesn't really matter. He's a premium ruckman anyway. Most have gone. All our rookies are going up. That's the positive. You want the rookies going up so we can get rid of them. So
when did the head-to-head start?
I think they've already started. I think we got them to start in round 1. I think. I can check that because this team is actually in the double coverage league. Oh, the community team plays against the Oracle this week, mate.
Oh, we're going to get slapped.
We'll bring it up. See if we can get Heaney, says Jules. Well,
it's a bit late.
Nah, we'll get him in. We've got to get him in eventually. Jono's All-Stars. That's Magda, isn't it? That's you, Magda, on top.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't argue. Is Danny? I'm not sure who that is. The Oracle. Super Voodoo. That's global. Close the Dawson. I think that might be DeVille, who was up there last year. Shake and Bake. Oh, this is not good. There's Jules. You got 2 teams in here, Jules. Cheeky bugger.
It's all right. We need to fill it up.
Mate, we're going all the way down here. This is my team here. In 17th.
You're getting slapped.
What is going on? I haven't even won a game. Matt's card shop. He had a draw.
How do you have
You
a
drew
draw?
in mate, you might have had the exact same team as someone. That's what ends up happening in Supercoach eventually, as you know. Everyone has the same teams. It gets extremely hard to win. There's Yaron. I've gone blank on his
All-Star.
All-Star. Yep.
All-Star Sports Card.
They're all in here. Everyone's in here, mate. Anyway, well done, Magda. You're on top at the moment, son. See if you can hold on. Get Darcy in, says Global. Yep, might have to get him in. We'll put something out and we'll try and work it out all together. Anyway, let's get to the games.
Something out in the socials, Doma.
Let's get to the games. I don't want to take too much time up on that. I'll get something out straight after the pod and we can try and work this shit out. Eddie's gather round source this week. Before we get to that, we've got to get to the results. The Pies get the job done by 20 points over the Lions on Thursday night. I think it's safe to say Brisbane had a bit too much fun in Vegas. And what happens in Vegas is slowly appearing to not have stayed in Vegas. So that's all I'm saying on the front. That's all I'm willing to comment on, to be honest. So, yeah, interesting. All I'm saying is if footage starts coming out from this trip source, oh dear. Oh
if
dear.
There's footage and if there is footage, then they might actually cop lemons.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, what I've heard is there's a lot of footage. It just hasn't been leaked yet. So, anyway, mate, if the story comes out, I'll then reveal what I know, what I've been told, and then you can give the biggest Le Mans of all time. They'll probably win it. We probably have to fly to Brisbane and go to the Brisbane Lions Football Club and give them the Le Mans in person. Just give it to them. Done. You reckon it's it? They're done? They play the great and powerful North Melbourne.
Oh, so they'll get their first win this week.
Yeah, well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Be good for their confidence.
Well, the Pies played well. They're still rubbish in my opinion. So they're no good. I don't care that they beat Brisbane. Wasn't convincing, if you ask me. So sloppy with the football. The one thing he did right was he put Dacos back off half-back. That's where he needs to be, that rebound player. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. Everyone says, oh, yeah, to be a superstar, you got to be a midfielder. I disagree. He dominated playing off half-back last year, and he won you games playing off half-back. There's games where he kicked like 2 or 3 goals playing off half-back because you use him as a utility. Benny says, Pies are carrying too many players this year. What are you saying? There's too many passengers. Already. No, he's not a Pie supporter. His team won this week. They beat the flag favourites at the moment. You can guess which team that is. They played on us. Yeah. No comment. They're going to win the flag now. Friday, Good Friday, field game. Yeah. Top 4? Yeah, top 4 lock. Yeah, after they won this week. Yeah, top 4 lock. North Melbourne get done by 56 points against the Blues. You know the positive thing that came out of this source? $2,500 of every goal goes to the Good Friday appeal.
That's why you conceded so many, because it was going to a good cause.
That's it. Pre-game, if you watch North Melbourne, a lot of people don't, but you would have noticed that we average, well, with this game now, I think our average score this year is up to 80 points a game. Before this game, our average was 79. So I said to the people that I was watching the game with, if we can keep Carlton to less than 79 points, we'll get our average, and technically we'll win the game. The problem is we can't defend. So they put up 137. The moment that they pass 79 points, you're not catching them. Even if you're 6 points behind. Say it was 79 to 73 and there's a quarter to go, you can't win the game because we're only good for 6 more points. Well, in this case, 8 more points. So if you watch North, and that's the way it works. You go by the average score. We score to a certain point. The team gets tired. They're very young. And then teams overrun them. But in saying that, the first half, they put 0 effort in source, and it was deplorable. It actually looked like, I was sitting there going, what have we actually achieved? What have we... I actually said to my dad, I go, we actually look worse than last year. I said, I don't know how that's possible. We genuinely look worse than last year. No effort. There was like 5 or 6 Carlton players around the football, and there was no North Melbourne players in sight. So I was a bit baffled. Anyway, we got spanked. Another bottom 4 year. Remember when I said we could finish in 13th? Oh, yeah, right. We'll see what happens.
Calling it early.
Fuck. I tell you what, they better come with some effort this week because you got a Tigers team, you got a Lions team on the absolute ropes. North Melbourne can actually put them to the sword this week and kill Brisbane's season. If we win this week, that is it for Brisbane. That's how they should be going into it. Going, let's try and end this team's season here, right now, and gather round. But they won't. So that's how I would approach the game. Anyway, Fremantle beat Adelaide by 35 points. Crows look stinky. They look stinky.
Well, they were supposed to improve this year.
They look stinky. Yeah, they look very stinky.
What's going on, Matty?
I reckon they got
Crows,
flashbacks.
your boys.
Flashbacks back from that camp source. They've come. I don't know. The flashbacks are returned. I don't know what's going on, but they look stinky.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, not good at all. The Dons get a great win over the Saints by 4 points. Very well done.
Very well played.
Both teams both had their key forwards out. You had Peter Wright out for 4 weeks. They had Max King out.
It was a sloppy game. I'm not going to lie. Their skills
you got the job
in
done.
The game were absolutely terrible. But what was good to see was the effort and the will to fight back. Obviously, being down 4 goals at one point in the game, early in the game, fighting back. And then, the way we just dominated the ball in the second half and just dominated the ground position, keeping the ball in our half. Our transition defense from the first couple games was better as well. So improvements all around. And a couple of young blokes played well. So, yeah, it was good to see. It's good to see. We just got to keep it going. And I don't know. Look, I'm not sold yet. It's one game, but we're going to see what can happen.
I know. I get it, Brett. I get it. 6 wins was realistic goal for us this year. We played 2 of the last year's prelim finalists in 3 games and a grand final team this week. Some perspective, please. Brett's not happy with me and my take on North Melbourne. I understand, but we didn't look good. You got to give me that at least, please, Brett. We looked terrible on Friday. It's like 0 effort. That's all I ask for is effort. Same thing that you said every game you went to last year, Source, with Essendon. You didn't care that you lost. Just show some effort. That's when it gets frustrating as a supporter. You're sitting there going like, what is happening? And I do feel sorry for Toby Pink. I do. He's a guy we picked up, coming in from the VFL, and he's had to come in and play a key defender role, and he's come up against they're 2 of the best forwards in the game, in Curnow and Mackay. And they've towed him up. They've towed him up completely. And Harry Mackay, I know everyone's bagged him, but just he hasn't been shit. I'm not going to say shit. He's not a shit player, but he's had his yips in front of goal with the snapping crap. It's only been 2 seasons that he's had that. Last year and the year before. The year before that, I don't think people remember how good he was. He was arguably better
Curnow was out.
Yeah, he was arguably he's better than Curnow in that season. And then I don't know what happened in his brain to make him want to start snapping everything the following season and stuff. But these guys had 2 down seasons, and even last year, really, it was still good. This year, he's putting on a clinic. So if they got both of those 2 firing, hello, good-looking gents. Hello, Vincent. Crow showed effort, but their disposals were shit. Have to hit targets, says Matt. Ash Johnson would have spanked Pink, says Jules. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's pushing it a bit too far. Then we had Port Adelaide losing to the D's by 7 points. This game was a ripper. This was probably game of the round, Source. D's get the win away from home. Gorn was massive in this. They look fantastic. So, I don't know. Maybe D's are the real deal.
Look better going forward with Big Benny Brown up there.
Yeah, I know. When you got a
Ben
target
Roy and Benny Brown. The forward line starting to click a bit.
They still got McAdam to come in too when he gets healthy. They came from the Crows.
Yeah, don't ride off the D's.
He's a good forward.
They got one of the best midfields,
And defense. It's just their forward line that's the struggle part for them. They can get that humming, then. Dixon getting too old, got shut down, says Matt. 0 footy IQ, negative reaction time. Yeah, I agree. That's on pink. Sunday games, Dogs beat the Eagles by 76. I'm not even going to look into that game. And then Richmond defeat the Swans by 5 points at the G. They showed up. They showed out. They put on a clinic. They played really, really good football. But there's very, very bad news that came out of this game, Source. I don't know if you heard the news. Bolt's out for 3 to 4 weeks. And then Tom Lynch, the dirtiest player in the game, has a hamstring tendon issue. Not hamstring issue. Hamstring tendon. He's out for 8 to 12 weeks. Tom Lynch. So I don't know who they're kicking the football to. Because he played so well.
They better get Rewald a call, get him out of retirement.
Tom Lynch looks so good. I was listening, bro. His timing was unbelievable. He was fantastic, and he was playing on McCartan, who's not a shit defender. He's one of the best key backs in the game at the moment. Tom McCartan, and his timing was just unbelievable. So, and there you go. Benny's even said Baker got suspended for a week as well. So I don't know who's going out this week.
Goals on the weekend. So
yeah,
there you go. 3 goals Lynch out of the team. 2 goals Baker out of the team. You've already lost 5 goals.
I think, Ben, is it safe to say you're not even going to know who you're bringing into your team anymore? Like, is that safe to say? Do you even know who half these guys are?
Young guys. Guys.
That is it Tefau?
Yeah, he was good.
The Islander boy who got picked up, man, he was fantastic. His forward pressure was great, and he ended up snagging his first goal in AFL football as well. Ben said they're calling him up. There you go. You haven't got time, mate, to go playing for those Muppets. You got a big game this week. Get your head in the game, son. All right, you got a big game this week. Don't worry about the Tigers; they stink. So,
bottom 4 lock. Tigers.
And then,
good win for them, and obviously,
no, it's great.
It's important as you're playing a lot of young players to have some wins on the season. I honestly think the Tigers will struggle to win more than 6 games this season. You know, they'll throw a few teams off, but 6.
I tell you what, if they had their full team, you know what? If they had their full team,
yes,
I actually would have said they would have won maybe 10 games.
Yeah, probably, but I just think
they put a lot of effort in. It's just the quality's not there, you know, with Hopper out, Bolter's now out, Lynch is gone again, Dusty's out, Grimes was out of this game, Presti is injured. Mate, look at all the names that we're talking about. Baker's out suspended now. Fuck. Like that there is 6 of your best 18 or 6 of your best 22.
6-7 games. I think that's the realistic outlook of this.
Ryan comes back in, says Global, the big fella. He played pretty well, Samson Ryan, last year. I agree, Source. Can't get a team on the park. And then the last game, the Easter Monday clash. The Hawks against the Cats, and they get done by 36 points in the Tomahawks' 350th game. Good win. Obviously, there was a delay in this one due to lightning. I don't know if you saw that, Source. There was a game delay. But they got it back up and running, and the game was pretty much finished anyway by the time the delay came in. The buys this week were to the Suns and the Giants. The Lightning game, says Tabe. Wouldn't read in it too much. I think the Swans just choked the last quarter. Tigs aren't all that. No, I agree. I agree with you. It's just, but the Swans need to learn how to win at the G. That's the problem.
That's the important.
That is the key. That is the key part of all of it. All right, they need to learn how to win at the G. Like, it doesn't matter about anything else but that.
And they were all over them. They were coming in that last quarter, and they went inside 50 so many times and missed targets to take advantage of all those inside 50s they had. So, you know, that's their, you know, as much as you can say that the Swans lost the game, it was, you know, the Tigers played well. You got to give them their credit. Yeah, it's good. Look, it's good, as I said, for young team to get those type of wins. 100%. Builds belief. And what did Benny say? We've had our time. I'm happy to build for the future. And I think that's what Tigers supporters need to have, that realistic look that you know, that's where your club is at now. But mate, I'm telling you, as an Essendon supporter who hasn't seen a winning final in over 20 years, mate, all right, I'll take 3 flags in a heartbeat. I'll take fucking 1 flag in a heartbeat, all right? So, just 1.
It's fair. It's a fair call. All right, so let's get to round 4. Let's get our tips. Crows, D's to start gather round on Thursday. I know where I'm going.
I think I'm going to pick the D's.
I'm going D's too.
Yeah, they're looking good.
The blockbuster on Friday. This game is a 5:10 game on Friday because of the time difference. North Melbourne versus the Lions.
Brisbane.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Brisbane. I tipped North against Carlton. I don't know why. Then 8:10 on Friday. Straight after that Brisbane North game, we got Port Adelaide versus Essendon.
Port Adelaide.
I'm also going Port. Saturday, we have the Eagles versus the Swans.
Swans.
Yep, Swans.
The bye.
Dockers versus Blues.
It was a good game. This is actually forming out to be an absolute cracker. I'm going to go with the Blues.
All right, nice. I'm going to go Dockers.
And you know what? Typical, you know what they're going to do? They're going to win. They're going to beat the Blues. They're going to be 4-0, and they're just going to be like, mate, this lemon over here freaking picked us to beat bottom 4, and we're 4-0.
Still early in the season, mate. It doesn't.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't mean anything.
Like, they beat Adelaide and they beat North Melbourne, so everyone calm your farm. The way Adelaide's shaping up.
The first round when they beat Brisbane, that was their best win, but with Brisbane struggling this season, so make of it what you will. But yeah, they look a big test for them.
Next up, Dogs versus Cats.
Good game. I'm going to go the Cats.
These ones are always hard because obviously all the games are in Adelaide. So, but I'm gonna back the Dogs. They look pretty good in patches on the weekend. They played West Coast. I know that they played literally the bye, but they do.
They're coming off the back of 2 wins as well.
I don't think Geelong hasn't been fully tested yet. They haven't been fully tested. I just want to see them get tested before we jump on them.
Absolutely mop it up down back, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, he will. Suns versus Giants.
I'm gonna have to go the Giants.
I'm going Giants. I love the Giants. Tigers versus the Saints. Oh, based off of
Saints. Based off the injury list.
The injuries, I'm going Saints too, unfortunately. Otherwise, I might have actually picked the Tigers. Pies versus Hawks, last game of Gather Round.
Pies.
I'm going Pies also. Nice. So 3 oval. Let's beat those flat track bullies, the Lions, Doma says Vector. They're not even flat track bullies. They can't even win at home. So I don't know what's going on. 3 ovals this weekend. Adelaide Oval, Norwood, and Mount Barker Oval. Nice. Beauty. That is it for Gather Round. Next up, just a quick one. Formula 1. We've got the Japanese Grand Prix. That is Sunday, April 7th, 3 p.m. start. Ladies and gents, that is a 3 p.m. start. Suzuka Circuit. So tune in to that one. And if his motor doesn't blow up or his car doesn't catch on fire, you heard it here first. I think Max Verstappen is going to win. So, yeah, we need unforeseen circumstances. All right, so that's the F1. And Saucy, I'm going to throw to you for some UFC.
Yes, UFC over the weekend. There was a fight night, and I'll run through the results. So the main event, you had Mannion Fiorot in the women's flyweight defeating Erin Blanchard over the 5 rounds with a decision victory. And then the welterweight division, Jalkin Buckley defeated Vincente Luque, which was a big win for him. That sees him, probably jump into the rankings as he beats number 11 Luque with a KO in the second round TKO. And then Chris Weidman defeats Bruno Silva in the middleweight division with a win over the 3 rounds on decision. And then Nursulin Rubyov defeating Cedric Dumas with a KO in the first round in the middleweight division. And then you had Kyle Nelson defeating Bill Algo with a KO in the first round. That's in the featherweight division. And Chindi, this is a good one, Njokwani defeating Reese McKay with a split decision over the distance. That's in the welterweight division. I won't run through the rest. That was the main card. Yeah, so some good fights there. There is a card this weekend, and it is a fight night again. Brandon Allen against Chris Curtis in the middleweight division headlines the event, 6th versus 14th in the division. And then the co-main event or second event is Alexander Hernandez versus Damon Jackson. You can go have a look at this card, but this one starts from 8 a.m. main card, Australian Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday. So check it out. Doma, before we move on from combat sports, we obviously have to mention a few fighters, Aussie fighters over the weekend. You had Michael Zarafa was fighting for a title. Unfortunately, he blew his chance. He got knocked in the second round, knocked out.
Okay.
It wasn't like a vicious knockout. It was obviously just a knockdown KO. Got up, had wobbly legs. Referee called the fight. It was definitely a good call because he probably just got cleaned up after that. But yeah, wasn't the most clinical there. And then you had Tim Tszyu defeated by Fedora, lost his belt. I'm not sure if you've seen it, Donna, but he copped an errant elbow sort of when he was trying to duck under a punch late in the second round, literally right at the end of the round. Point of the elbow, top of the head, cut up. He's put a massive cut, like a massive gash. It was just, dripping blood for the rest of the fight. He was blurring his vision. He couldn't see properly. So, credit to him that he was able to go the distance. In my opinion, which I watched the whole fight, Fedora did do enough, more than enough. That jab was just working overtime and, was landing a bunch of times on Tszyu. There is a rematch clause. So, obviously that's good for Tszyu. There is a rematch clause in the contract. So he will get a rematch. I feel like, should he not have that situation where he gets the cut, he would have worked out an angle and because he was still landing some great punches and shots on Fedora. But credit for Fedora, like he wore those punches and they didn't really he wasn't didn't get knocked or swayed massively from the punches. So he must have a decent chin. But yeah, look, unfortunate for Timmy Tszyu, but he'll be back. And it's just what's so shit about boxing, Dom? They've just got this ridiculous thing, when it comes to like record.
Yes.
It holding so much weight and fighters who were, if he won this fight, would potentially had a fight against some other big name fighters
against Spence. Errol Spence.
They're saying now they don't really want to fight him and sort of it just sort of throws this whole spanner in the works, and it's such bullshit because there's ways to lose and then there's ways to lose. If you got knocked out viciously and to the canvas, yes, but you have a look at that fight, gets that cut over his head. Literally, imagine blood pouring over your eyes for the rest of the front from round 3 to round 12, and you can't see properly out of one side of your face because there's that much blood in your eye.
That's the thing with boxing that shits me because like that's how UFC do it so well. Like you fight your way back up the rankings. It doesn't matter if you're undefeated or whatever it is. You get your chance again. You know what I mean? In boxing, like look at Ken Bossis. He won, but then once he lost it, he lost twice in a row, and then now they don't book him because he was the champ, so they had to book him again because obviously they want these undefeated guys to fight him for the title. He loses it, they don't book him again, like in those title fights. It's bullshit because like Tim Tszyu, Aussie, coming up, like he wins that fight against Fondora, he fights Errol Spence, all right? He beats Errol Spence. He comes up in that category. He can fight anyone he wants as the champ. Anyone. Like, because they keep jumping weight classes and this and that. You know what I mean? I'm not sure where Garcia and all those guys are, but I'm pretty sure that they're all in that same weight range.
The weight classes in boxing are so minute.
Yeah, I know.
The weight
it's so
differential that they jump is like, it's nothing compared to UFC.
If he fights Spence, like if he was going to fight Errol Spence, like I'm sure people know who he is, but that's a massive fight for Tim Tszyu if he fights him. Like that's huge. world boxing for the title. He beats that guy. He can pick anyone to put up against him, and like you can get a massive, massive, massive fight. And the Errol Spence one is a massive fight. Even this one was a huge one because it was in front of a big global audience. You know, he's not fighting on those Aussie cards to make his way up. He was there. And unfortunately, like he said, he copped the Aaron elbow. 12 stitches he needed there, Source, at the end. So 12 stitches to sew that up. Yeah. But just to think about, to go the distance, to fight 10 rounds without seeing shit and not get knocked out, and actually be in contention to win the match, the fight.
Well, one judge gave him the
thing. It wasn't unanimous. It was split decision. Like, that's pretty impressive. It just shows his resilience in his heart, mate. Like, and that's what you want to see out of these Aussie fighters, mate. Like, the will to never give up. And like for Zarafa, he's unlucky. Hopefully he bounces back, you know, and he can try and get back onto a card again and try and work his way up and just go back and recalibrate and get himself sorted and just get back in the pool of it. But I'm with you, Sauce. The whole politics behind this unbeaten record, 16-0, 7-0 guys. And then once you have a blemish of one loss, it's like, we don't think about you anymore. We're going to have the two unbeaten guys fight each other for the title. It makes sure that who's going to get their first loss. It's like, then you go back in history. You know what it's like. You go look at their history and they might have, they're not bums, but you know, they fought nobodies in terms of like talent-wise in boxing as the top guys for like their first 14 fights. Then they beat two guys of notable name. That's how they get their name in the sport. They're like, oh, this guy beat so-and-so. Now he's 16-0. And then they give him the title shot. But the 14 fights before the two that he beats two notable guys, no one cares about that. It's like they put him up and they go, well, he's beaten these guys that aren't really noteworthy. If he can beat this guy and then beat another one, you know, who maybe he's cut like he's up to the job. And that's what happens. Yeah. Unless you're a Tank Abbott or a Devin Haney or a Garcia, like Ryan Garcia, they'll book him in anything, bro. Even if he loses, it doesn't matter. They book him because he's talented, you know. And it's so finite between all those guys: Haney, Garcia, Abbott. Who's all the other? Chisora, like all those guys. They're round about it. Errol Spence. They just keep booking them. Doesn't really matter. So, but I'm with you. Hopefully he gets another crack at it. Old Timmy.
There will be a rematch. It was in the contract. It was in the contract. So we'll see what happens then. How it plays out. But yeah, obviously I had to give that a little bit of a mention after tuning in and watching that on Easter Sunday.
Very nice. All right, so also let's get into some hobby talk. We just got some products to start off with, and then we got some stuff where you can lose the plot, and we love when you lose the plot. Saucy loses
What's coming out, Thomas?
We just got some 23-24 Tops NBL. You're going to give a shout out to the winners, the champs. Sauce?
Yeah, shout out to obviously the Jack Jumpers, Tasmanian Jack Jumpers. Yeah, they have third season in, and they've won the title. That's, you know, a massive feat.
Is this a Le Mans card? What is this variant? What is this?
That's the Le Mans variant.
No, it's not. What is it?
We're calling it the Le Mans variant.
It looks like a Le Mans variant.
Opal gold?
I don't know. It must be.
Nah.
No, I don't know. Coast to coast, big city ball. Like, I don't know what this is. I want to know what it is. Anyway, short print, Next Stars, NBL Autos, blue parallels, coast to coast, down and big city border. It must be opal parallels. I don't know. Anyway, cards per pack 6, packs per box 20, boxes per case 12, set size 100 cards. Release date subject to change, but it is scheduled for April 24th. 2024. So this month, Saucy, we're going to get a bit more of a look into this. If this is a Le Mans set, we're probably going to have to collect it. Oh, Waddle. Says Matty Tabe. They look like Le Mans, mate. Magda says, give a lemon to someone. He's keen. Next up, share this tab. We got 2023 Panini Impeccable WWE in the road to WrestleMania this weekend. Source is WrestleMania, so we got to get into some WWE spirit leading into that.
You've been into the WWE, haven't you, Dom? I've been watching the reruns of the old
I've been
90s,
watching a flat
early
stick.
2000s on
Man,
what's it on? What service is it
on binge? I got on binge,
Binge.
and I don't know if you've heard what's happening. So, like, The Rock's come back, and he's in this storyline at the moment with Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, right here, and because they are cousins, actually cousins in real life. So, he's come back into it. And Source, would you believe it? This could get you back onto it. I think they're going because they signed that Netflix deal, $5 million Netflix deal, 2 weeks ago.
WWE.
Yeah, starting next year, 2025.
What are they going to do? Like in the locker room, like it's
WWE is going all onto Netflix. They're going to
really?
they're going to live
Netflix. You get WWE
pay-per-views. You get the pay-per-views. The show you can watch the show live as it's premiering, and then obviously once it's
that's
finished,
like the middle of the day here when it premieres.
Yes, so it's going to be like Foxtel. How they have
it was like back in the day. You used to be able to watch it during the middle of the day at like 11 o'clock in the day.
Correct.
And then you us because we were at school and stuff. We used to watch rerun later that night at like 7 o'clock or something like that.
Yes. So obviously today's episode aired and finished, and then me, I had it on the live feed, and I skip all the commercials and all the bullshit matches. I don't watch that rubbish. I like the promos and when the good wrestlers fight. Anyway, Source, with this deal, the rumor on the street, because you know what's happened when they bleed these days, they make it black and white, and if someone bleeds, actually stop the match to patch them up. That's what's been happening in the last 6 years because they want it to be kid-friendly. The rumor source is they're going to bring it back to the Attitude Era, bleeding and everything. Mate, The Rock busted open Cody Rhodes last week and he was bleeding everywhere. They didn't censor anything. And then when they showed the replay of that this week from last week's episode, they usually make it black and white. Nah, full color, mate. They didn't care. The Rock... No, it's on normal television. I think they're leading up to that jumping onto Netflix. They're just making that transition. So when they get onto Netflix, it's already there. So, mate, The Rock's going on there and dropping shit and the F-bomb and, like, they're beeping him out.
Oh, they're beeping him.
They're beeping him out because obviously he's put his script into the producers before the show, but he's dropping F-bombs and he's losing. It's the best thing. It's like I was watching in the 90s. It's actually so good, Source.
Yeah, that's the money move, mate. That's the money move. That's what they need to understand. When everyone's going woke and you go broke, you go in the opposite direction, mate, and you make all the
Let's be honest. Everyone keeps saying, oh, the kids, mate. There ain't no 4-year-old kids watching this stuff. And if the kids are what? Get a bit of blood, mate. Kids are going on TikTok and they're watching fucking porn, mate. They're watching mate,
going to school and pulling those moves on some kid at school and I'm busting his nose. Get sent to the principal's office. That's what it was all about.
Yeah, but Source, like, the kids these days are watching like access to pornography and stuff, and you're telling me that a bit of bleeding in the WWE is going to stop sales? Come on, man. Like, these people are so dumb. They're actually so dumb. Mate, you got to get the parents back into it. These kids belong to a certain group of people, which are us, Source. The kids now are like us when we were kids. It's our kids. And we don't want to sit there and watch all this crappy Fruity Pebbles stuff that they were doing when the last time The Rock was here, calling John Cena a Fruity Pebble with all these colorful tops. Like, that's rubbish. Now he's back and he's making people bleed and it's good. And anyway, we got impeccable WWE. We got sidetracked. All right, we got sidetracked. Anyway, here we go. Patch auto, Roman Reigns.
WWE could be back, Dom.
Could be back. Well, they keep saying wrestling's cool again. And I think it actually is, in my opinion. It actually is. So, here's Kurt Angle, one of my favorite wrestlers. He's got the milk, as you know. Remember Kurt Angle? Love the milk. Yeah, we love his music 100%. That is Alexa Bliss. Triple H. That's a stainless steel.
Obviously, this is these designs here will be funneled through the basketball and
yeah.
all the we know that, ladies and gentlemen. So whatever you're seeing here, impeccable. I mean, I'm sure that's been seen in basketball, the designs and in football.
Of course, Cody Road here, the gold ounce card. You just got to make sure when you actually pull this card that stays in it, the piece of gold, it doesn't fall out like it always did in the basketball product. Man, the quality control on that was...
I feel like they missed an opportunity there. They should do like a mini belt series where they put like a mini belt in there.
Ooh, so you're giving some ideas to him. There you go. He's CM Punk. Obviously, he's back now as well, CM Punk. So they got the license to him. Cards per pack, 9. Packs per box, 1. Boxes per case, 3. 100 cards in the set. Release date is April 3. What to expect? 5 autos, 1 insert, 3 base cards or parallels. Do you want to see who the autos are? So what we always love. If anyone good in here? I'd say R-Truth. You remember R-Truth?
Yes.
Elegance Jumbo. Bobby Lashley. Rey Mysterio. Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins. They're good ones. Any legends? Where's the legends? Memorabilia. Extravagance. Leader.
There you go. Rob Van Dam.
There you go. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Bradshaw. The Godfather.
There you go. Batista. Tori Wilson. Just for you, Tori Wilson.
No, we want Trish Stratus.
Is it Trish Stratus? Nah, they didn't get her. Road Dogg. Undertaker's in there. No Trish Stratus. That's interesting.
I think she's been in some other sets.
Scotty Too Hottie.
There you go. Stacey Keebler, 21.
Surely.
Johnny
Diesel.
Cena. Stone
Kurt
Cold.
Angle.
I tell you what, I wouldn't mind a Rob Van Dam auto.
They're pretty good.
Rob Van Dam. I used to do 5-star frog splash off my desk in my room onto my bed.
You've lost the plot. Shawn Michaels. No, there actually isn't. I don't think there is Trish Stratus in this product. Funnily enough. Interesting. Anyway, there you go. Source is a whole bunch of cards, mate. Next one. We're not done yet. This is the last one. Impeccable. Revolutions NBA. We love this product as well. So here we go. Let's have a look. Short printed Galactics. New this year are the SSP rookie variations. Revolutionary and Primetime Performers are 2 other rare chase sets. Have a look at this. Revolutionary. Talk about getting on the magic mushrooms here.
It's a little bit trippy. Fucking someone's been on an acid trip and come up with that.
What's going on, Trent, on Instagram watching? Koulibaly. Here's the Joker. So it comes out on April 5th. Cards per pack 5. Packs per box 8. Boxes per case 16. Set size 150. Inserts 4. Parallels 8. Rookies 4. That's what to expect in every box. Is there anything you want to have a look at here, Source?
Just click on the autographs and we'll just see what's in there.
Private signings. Auto checklist. Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Sengun.
Yep, Curry. What else you got? You got Sean Kemp, Magic Johnson, T-Mac.
There you go. Miller.
Pretty good.
Miller the Killer. Bill Lambier. Fractal. Dwayne Wade.
Not bad.
Magic Johnson in that set too. Rookie autos. I'll tell you, you're not getting in this product. There you go. That's it.
No Wemby autos.
You're not getting those. That's for sure. So there you go. Source there. Some products coming out. I'll get rid of that. Stop sharing. Bang. All right.
Did you happen to catch one, which is one, I mean, we didn't speak about before, but did you happen to catch the Wemby first autograph? Obviously, he's in the Topps Dynasty release, baseball. And technically, that's his rookie auto. So strategy by Topps is, they sold those Topps now Wemby autos on their site, which
Mhm.
they consider as rookie autos. And then they've put him in Topps Dynasty because, funny enough, they had him go to a baseball game and obviously wear a baseball,
Top.
jersey thing, top at the game, which then I believe that they got that off him, put it into these patch autos, and they got a photo of him, from the game where they've cropped it and everything, and they've put it into these cards. I think people are considering these as his first RPAs, rookie patch autos, even though he's
That's the key word that you said there, Source, which is quite nice. Considering this card to be his rookie, considering, so it's not.
wow.
That just shows that pick and choose what you want. But anyway, I get what you're saying.
Look, I just it's an interesting thing. Like this could be one of the, I mean, just have a look at what he's done in his rookie season. If he stays injury free, this guy could be an absolute monster and literally
Bro,
the
he's so good.
face of the league for the next 10 years, right?
So good.
And he's not going to have, he's not going to have proper patch autos, rookie patch autos, from that have game worn patches like his flawless patch autos or things like that. So it's interesting to see how this plays out and what people consider are going to be his best rookie cards. Obviously, you got the Prism, and probably he'll have a flawless logo man because Panini will still have rights to getting games used jerseys. They just don't have rights to his autograph, so they'll probably make a few logo mans, different logo man variants. I feel like that's what they might do to bump up the chase hits in certain boxes. And yeah, look, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out later down the track, what people gravitate towards to as he sort of his best rookie cards to collect. If you'd created a top 10, top 20 rookie cards to collect, what they would be, considering he's not going to have any of the big releases like Immaculate or Flawless or NT or even stuff like 1-1, Panini 1-1. I love that product, Doma. So even stuff like lower, mid-tier stuff like Spectra and Impeccable, he's not going to have none of that. None.
James says still time for Fanatics to buy Panini. So potentially. Magda says, have you done a preview on the AFL team code stuff? I think we have. I'll be honest with you. I've been so slack. I haven't bought any footy cards this year. Nothing.
Oh, mate. Hey, haven't you seen at the local server? I went to a United petrol station. They had a few packs there. I had to buy.
Did they? Oh, next time I fill up, I'll have a look. If they're there, I'll buy the box.
Maybe it depends. It depends where you fill up. I don't know. That was a United. Shell usually have footy cards.
Okay.
Some 7-Elevens do. And looking, if you ever walk past the post office, just go in there.
Yeah, I'll pop in. But I'm thinking I might even just go buy a box off Select for Footy Stars.
I think they've still got some out there. Select have some. Even if there's plenty of places that have the retail box. I believe the hobby box of Select was more. Look, I'm not going to lie. Select's cards are nicer than the team coach.
Okay, there you go. Oh, but we will. I'll try and get some actually this week.
I've got a team coach box from last year that I still haven't ripped, sitting around somewhere. So
I think that's what we'll do. I'll buy some during the week. I'll try and source some, and then I'll open.
I reckon we got to do it.
We still got a case here to rip.
Yeah, but if you get a box of Footy Stars, I've already got a box. We can do a box battle and see who's got the better box.
That. Okay, all right. Now we're talking. All right, done. I'll try and source one of Select. All right, perfect. Last two things. Interesting stuff. I'm not going to play Kurt's Card Care. I'm not playing the music.
No, don't give us. We've already had two copyrights in the last five weeks, mate.
Do we actually?
Yeah. Every time you play that music, we get a copyright.
Oh fuck! I'm playing it. I'm playing it right now just for the sake. I want the copyright.
We're not making any money off this.
No. There you go. I just wanted to play it. That's it.
See if we cop one. Let's see if we cop one for that few seconds.
Less than 10 seconds, so it should be all right. Interesting thing, because we keep talking about the use of Kurt's Card Care and all these other things, soaking cards and doing all this type of stuff, and not knowing the effects for many years to come potentially. Now, Dan the card man, good friend of ours, as you know, has done a video on a card that was bought in 2018. It was a baseball card and had this giant stain on it. It'd been soaked and the stain was removed. It got a PSA 9, I'm pretty sure, source. PSA 9 or a PSA 8 or something. I don't know what it was. Anyway, same serial code, everything. This card has come back around 6 years later, in 2023, 5 years later, after being altered, all right? And the stain source over the 5 years is slowly starting to return on the card. So it's starting to look like it's just a masking agent source. And this stain is starting to return on the card, and the guy's bought it. We'll say it's a PSA 9. I'm pretty sure it was a PSA 9. But if you were to crack it and resub it, it's really not a PSA 9, a PSA 9 slab, really. And it's just showing that the cards do get damaged. Well, it's a masking agent, and over time, it will just turn back to what it was. Your thoughts, Source?
Mate, don't you know this is all FUD against Kurt's calm care, mate. This is all FUD against it, and he's done extensive R&D research. He's spent millions and millions of dollars on research on his product. He would never release something out of his basement bathtub to the public that would potentially harm their cards and make it actually worse in the future. There's no way that Kurt, after charging people an absolute
here he goes. He still got it. There it is.
US dollars for the crap that is in here that honestly probably cost. This is probably like 5 to 7 kit together, and he's selling it to you for 50, right? He wouldn't dare USD. He wouldn't dare release something that could potentially harm your cards. No way. He spent millions and millions of dollars on research and development. For this is a product which is 100% safe for your cards.
And clearly it's organic too. All right. So don't forget that.
It smells that way that it's organic. Let me tell you.
Oh my God.
This is what we've been saying the whole time, Doc. It's literally what we've been saying. We're like, mate, how can you not see that this will actually be harm your cards in the future? And it's so good to see case studies coming out. And the thing is, if you did a bit of digging, and we've talked about this, the blowout forums, if you go on there, there's so much. It's a resource. It literally was the hub of the hobby before the hobby blew up. Everything was on blowout forums. For years and years and years, that's where you talked about stuff.
Just threads
and all
everywhere.
That stuff is still there. And, there's threads of this specific, instance of stuff being added to cards, soaking and it cracking later on down the track. So there's actually evidence of it already happening, but yet we're here accepting Kurt's almighty cum care as different. It's completely different. It's 100% safe. Like, come on, guys. Come on. We really, is that really what you're just saying that because you want to get better grades. PSA can't detect it. BGS can't detect it. SGC can't detect it. CSG can't detect it. None of them can detect it. So you can do it. You can get away with it, and you can sell it to some sucker. If you sell it to them on eBay, they're not going to realize because the 30 days is going to expire. They're not going to be able to refund it. So you're going to win out there, and you sell it to the guy at the card show. He doesn't know any better. It's disappointing that, this is what people are brainwashing others in this hobby to accept as normal. It is not fucking normal. Like, putting a wax on a card is not normal. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, yeah, you might get a bit of hot breath and you might, this is what I used to do. Full disclosure. I used to have a little bit of scotch, right? No word of a lie, straight scotch, right? So alcohol on the breath. And I used to breathe hot breath on the cards and I used to wipe microfiber cloth.
Get the fuck out of here.
That was my method of cleaning, right?
This guy.
Is that altering the card? Potentially. It could be.
You've lost the plot.
Right?
You've lost the plot.
But
you're probably like a card trimmer as well.
Hey, I got the guillotine. Where is it? Hang on. got the guillotine.
Oh no! Don't be bringing that up. People watch this and actually think you've been doing it. Unbelievable. Honestly, no.
Mate.
Realistically, it's no comment because we've been talking about this for so long. Anyway, the second thing is even funnier, in my opinion, and that is the. I didn't know about this, all right, till I watched Dan's video, but Source was aware of this, and he said he wanted to talk about it extensively. But the PWCC eye appeal stickers are getting counterfeited, and people are creating them and putting it on slabs. So if you don't know what the eye appeal stickers are, you get 6 PSA 5. We'll use the Hank Aaron baseball card as the example, which is what Dan used in his. 6 Hank Aaron's PSA 5, and the PWCC guy sits there and goes, well, this is a better 5 than this one, and this 5 is better than that one. And they get a certain ranking of a sticker, an eye appeal sticker, and they stick it on the card to go with it. And if it gets like the S, I think it's the highest level of a PSA 5 as approved by PWCC. Now, people have gone and counterfeited these stickers, and they're putting it on PSA 5s that are not at the highest level of the real top PSA 5s. Now, I'm a bit confused anyway, Sauce, because I thought if it's a 5, it's a 5. But anyway, there's like varying levels of... I don't know. There's stickers. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, but there's people are counterfeiting it, and they're doing the same thing as altering cards with cleaning them. They're putting these fake stickers on, and people are believing they're real, and they can't tell them apart, Sauce. It's very hard to tell them apart. And funnily enough, all right, you will not believe this. You will not believe it. PWCC didn't come out and tell everyone that this was happening. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, Fanatics was one of them, the companies that came out and said, this is what's happening in the hobby. I just want to flag it. But the second person, Source is going to love this, was Probstein's auction house. Rick Probstein came out and identified this in his monthly newsletter or weekly newsletter that this was happening. Yes, you heard me right, Source.
Mr. Shilstein's himself.
Yes.
Maybe he's doing some good things for the hobby.
Yeah,
maybe.
Anyway, he's maybe turned a new leaf.
I shouldn't incriminate him before I've said anything.
Yeah. But anyway, this is what's happening. Another counterfeit thing happening in the hobby. It's just...
That's all right. Well, we're all going to have to use Mike Baker, Diamond, whatever the other one is, right? Wasn't that the first one? Mike Baker, Diamond, approval, bullshit sticker. You've got the diamond of all diamonds of PSA 8.
They had the Mickey Mantle, mate. They had the Mike Baker Authentic, the MBA.
Honestly, how dumb can we be as a hobby to pay for a service that's supposed to grade and authenticate your card, right? And then repay for another service that regrades your card, essentially.
No, regrades your grade of the card in terms of high, medium, a low, medium, or high level of that grade. You got a low grade 10, Source.
Does this not...
Yours is not worth as much as mine. Yours is a low grade 10. You got a Mike Baker bronze diamond sticker.
But does this not just reek of, to people, literally dollar? How can you not see it? How can you not see it? They are saying this is the norm in the hobby. We grade our card, we get given a grade, and then we regrade that grade of card.
With a third party.
After we've sent it to PSA, who's supposed to be the bee's knees of grading companies in this industry. Just play that back to yourself in your head, ladies and gentlemen. And does that seem normal? Does that seem like I don't know. What the fuck are we doing?
Just the same as the Glad Wrap G.I. Joe special. Yes, the same as getting the Glad Wrap. Yes, on a box.
Yes, because you can literally buy their Glad Wrap on Alibaba if you send them the fucking logo and say, "Yeah, I need
print
this.
it for me."
Print it for me.
Or you can go to
You can order a whole roll of. You can order a roll of fucking 100 meters.
Or you could go to a high level break with Drake, and then when he rips the plastic off, take it home and put it in your freaking briefcase. Just repurpose it. That's the best. Oh, I can't believe he actually did that. Anyway, still haven't caught him. I don't know where he's gone.
That's Juanito. Where is Juanito? Can we just stop and think about that? Where is Mr. Juanito Garcia?
Darren Ravel has got him chained up in his basement and he's torturing him for information. That's what he's doing.
Well, mate, his food porn is still posting long and strong. Let me tell you, that's still going well.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know what he's doing. He's not going to catch him. Man, there's people still doing what he's doing right now in plain sight, but everyone's just turning a blind eye. So,
yes.
Anyway, that's why it's funny. That's the funny thing about it. But anyway, these stickers are ridiculous.
This sticker situation, ladies and gents, and this is what we tell you. Buy what you want to buy in this hobby, but don't get sucked into this bullshit of the grade.
It's just another revenue stream for this company. That's all these are.
Stickers on the grade of that card. Like, don't get sucked into this shit, mate. Like, seriously, guys, really don't. You know, if you happen to get a card or buy a card raw, or you hit something in a break, or open a box and get a nice raw card that is gradable in your eyes, and you can grade it and make some money off it because you don't really want to collect that card, mate, go for it. We're not saying don't do it. Like, I would do the same thing. But, when it comes to buying a card for your PC, for your collection, or even a card where it's like, cards I've bought for my PC, but then, you restructure your PC or you sell off some cards because you bought too much stuff and you want to buy some other items and, move around things in your collection. Don't get sucked into buying the grade. Just buy the card.
Correct.
It's a nice card. And I've always done that, and it's always served me well, regardless of the grade. I bought a Halliburton. I think I showed the video, a BGS 8.5 1-on-1 RPA. Sold the card. Bought it for my collection. His prices went nuts. I'm not really saying I'm a Halliburton collector, and I think I've all told you my number one PC is Volkanovski, and then number two would probably be, I'd like to be Kobe. It was SGA until I sold a bunch of that stuff to buy other things and other things within the hobby, and also spend some money on a holiday, which was really nice. So always fun to pay for stuff that cards is paid for. But yeah, you just don't get sucked into this fucking grading shit. Like, really don't. Like, it's literally an extortion.
But what you said, if you want to grade, if you hit a card, like even if you get a card, you buy it raw and you find something and it's something you want on your PC and you want to get it graded, that's fine. Get it graded with PSA. By all means, if that's what you want to do, like you're saying, Sauce. But if you want to then turn around and go, well, I want to find out if I've got the best PSA 10. Man, you hit the PSA 10. These people have services to make money for no reason. It's just another revenue stream. That's all it is. Yeah, why do you want to find out you got the top PSA 10? It's a 10. Man, I sit here every single day, and I've showed the card 100 times. I sit here every single day at my desk, and I'll look at my 2016 Panini Donruss Cristiano Ronaldo Dominator Gold that I bought off Tinky Breaks, right? I sit here every single day looking at a PSA 10 slab with the most off-centered PSA 10 in the history of gold cards. And I just turn to myself and go, if I wanted to sell this card in person, and the guy goes, oh, that's off-center, that's fine. At the end of the day, does it say PSA 10? I don't care if it's at a low-level Mike Baker or low-level PWCC sticker grade. It's a PSA 10, mate. It is what it is. I'm not going out now going, oh, well, there could be other golds out there that are in a PSA 10. I want to know if I've got the best one. I don't care. It's a PSA 10, mate. That's it. Isn't that what we all strive to achieve in the hobby? Like when you grade your card, don't you want the best possible grade you can get? It's PSA 10. Why do you have to take it that next step? Why?
Because Mike Baker
Don't
Said
listen
so.
to those lemons. Because the best Mickey Mantle ever's got a gold, diamond, platinum, whatever it is, sticker on it. Use your shit. I can go on AliExpress right now and send that sticker and get it remade, and I'll stick it on this Ronaldo, and I'll get a platinum gold triple fractal NBA sticker from my baker that I've made off AliExpress for 5 cents. I'll stick it on there and sell it, and you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. Do you understand? Do you understand how easy it is to do this shit? Like, I don't think people actually get it. So, instead of running the risk and getting caught out in a scam like these things, just don't look at that stuff to add to the card. Just be happy with what you have. That's
the
it.
biggest worrying thing now these days is, you've got that, which is, this is just ridiculous, this sticker bullshit. Even grading is over the top.
I have to show it again. Look how off-centered it is. Look at that.
But the biggest worry is, Dom, the amount of people, and I send them to, we're in a group with me, you, Dan the car man, and I send at least one person every week that I see using Kurt's Cum Care or using some sort of
it's ridiculous, man,
of cleaning like that, and they're openly showing it in the Pokemon hobby, in One Piece hobby, in freaking sports cards. Like, it's rampant, and it's just going to be. It's the Wild Wild West out there, ladies and gentlemen. So, when you are buying cards, and I don't want it to sound like the Grim Reaper in this situation, but you need to be careful. Like, you just never know, which other Muppet has, tried to rub something on that card and get that mark off, and what that could do to the card if you're planning to keep that card, even if you're planning to keep it for 2 years, and then after 2 years you pull it out of your collection, decide to sell it one day. Like, that 2 years is enough that it could affect the card. Like, you don't know, right? So
Maddie summed it up perfectly. Charging people more depending on the value of the card is bloody nonsense. They're doing the same job regardless.
Yeah, well, that's.
Anyway, that's it from us. That's all we have for you. Be wary out there, because this is a new scam, and we're just making it pretty obvious to people out there. Just be wary of those PWCC stickers, and not for anything. If they can do it to those, they can do it to Mike Baker. They can do it to Basketball Exchange, whatever it is, BCEE. Like, they've done it with their Glad Wrap. It can be done anywhere. So just be very wary of it. Anything else from you, Saucy?
Mate, if you're buying a graded card, always double check that serial number. Do your checks. Even if it's $100 card, man, you'll be surprised, what lengths people will go to. If there's a Pokemon card you can buy for $5, it's a PSA 10, it ends up being an $80 card. If they can, forge that with a Giga Welder, which you can buy off online, and those slabs of PSAs, the exact same kind, you can buy them in bulk from AliExpress for 10 to 20 cents each. And then, make the labels and do a whole thing. And if they get those type of cards, and then can, not even that, even to the point where some places are even probably printing fake cards. Just be careful. I hate having to say all these things all the time, because it makes it sound like the hobby's such a
it's in every
place.
in every industry and every hobby, though. It happens everywhere, mate. But that we should do it because we still hear stories of people getting caught out with this crap. And it's just frustrating. It's like hard-earned dollars that these people earn, and they're getting caught up in scams, like unwillingly, like they don't know about them. But these people are so creative in the way that they do these things. So yeah, just don't want them to get caught, mate. We're here to look after everyone. Hopefully you look after us. Us two clowns. Anyway, keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. Peace.
Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all spots. Double curve.